Welcome back to another Stories with Heath. We appreciate all the help that you guys are giving us on the subscribing and such as that. We appreciate all of the comments and the liking and all that. But what we need the most is the sharing, and we appreciate your efforts to help us share this content and help it get us out, grow the audience. We appreciate it. We really do. Today I want to tell you a story that comes out of my Bible reading this morning. I was reading in Luke chapter 21, and Jesus was warning his disciples of some of the stuff that was going to come in the end. And we read this account several places in different gospels, and he's kind of giving them a warning. And that warning is there to give them some signs of the times so that they would know the gravity of the situation. And we look at those and we can see many of those look like maybe we'll get a lot closer to the time that all of that's going to come to fruition. But as he's going through this thing, he tells them something that's really important. He tells them that before you get there, go ahead and make up your mind that you're not going to prepare what you're going to say, and you're going to let the Holy Spirit lead you in that moment that you're brought up on trial before the judges of this world. And that brought me around to an idea that I've tried to teach my kids, and some of y'all that have been in churches that I've pastored, I've tried to teach this idea there as well. There's going to be moments in your life where it is incredibly stressful. Moments, take for instance, and I'll use this for an example. There are moments in which many men and women, but many people, how about that, find themselves in an area of temptation. They're married, they've got a family, but an opportunity presents itself for that person to enter into adultery, and in that moment they're going to have to decide whether they're going to honor their wife or whether they're going to honor their own flesh. It's a bad situation, and it's a situation that a lot of people have found themselves in, and maybe it's a situation that some of you are currently wrestling with today. But I want to give you a piece of advice here that we can take and extrapolate this idea that Jesus is teaching. We have to make those kinds of decisions before we have to make those kinds of decisions. We have to make them to go ahead and decide, I'm not cheating on my spouse because of this reason. I love her. Another reason, she's about the best woman that I ever found. Probably is the best woman I ever found. No offense to the rest of you. She's the mother of my children. She is my right hand. She was given to me by God. We are joined and we are one flesh. I can go on for a long time on this because there's a million reasons why I don't want to cheat on my wife. But in the moment that temptation is there, if the only questions that are in my mind is should or shouldn't I, then I'm saving that decision to that moment. I may choose wrong because I'm not very smart. I am not a pillar of virtue. I'm a dude. I'm no different than any of you. Some of you are dudes, some of you are chicks. We're just people. And we make bad decisions regularly. I have to make up my mind before it happens what I'm going to do in these situations so that I know that decision's already been made. And it wasn't made in the heat of the moment. That decision was made years and years and decades ago. And it was the right decision. It was thought out. It was researched. It was debated. It was settled. There is nothing that Satan can bring into my life to show me to say, hey, well, you haven't thought about this. Oh, no, I did. I thought about all of that. And upon carefully weighing the sides of this, I've determined that all of that is worthless because I've already made my decision of what it is that I'm going to do, and that is to be faithful to my wife. Now, apply that same principle to every area in which you may be faced with a difficult situation. Am I going to lie because my employer wants me to? Am I going to commit an act for my employer that is unethical? Am I going to be involved in a situation in which I cover up the crime of somebody else? How am I going to react if this happens? How am I going to react if that happens? We have to make those decisions before the very moment it comes to make those decisions. And I tell you that, the same reason that Jesus is telling you that, is because in the moment, we're a lot more like Peter than we should be. In the moment that Peter had those opportunities to do the right thing, he got scared, because his heart wasn't already set on what it was he was going to do if he was ever in those positions. His mind was, I'm going to fight. And then he cut the dude's ear off, and Jesus said, put your sword away, and now we can't fight people anymore. Jesus said that's not what he wanted us to do, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Peter had not made up his mind already what he was going to do, and because the situation was stressful, because the situation had turned in a way he didn't expect it to, because the opportunities were being presented in a way that his guard was down, then Peter made some really bad choices. And he denied Christ 3 times. Just like Jesus said he would. Just like Peter said he wouldn't. But he did. He did not because Peter is a terrible human being. He did so because he walked into those with the options still up in the air. So we need to decide, okay, am I going to vote for a candidate who doesn't represent what it is I believe just because I don't like the other guy? Am I going to allow my government to continue to do this or do that? Where is my line? What is the bridge that is too far? In the pipelining world, I use this term a lot, and it comes from stuff I heard, stories from my dad talking his construction background, and the term drag up, where you just go home, you hook to your trailer, and you pull out of the campground, and you just drag up, you take all your stuff, and you go home. What are the points in your life where you drag up on the situations you're in, the relationships you're in? Where do you cut them off? Where is that dividing line? These are things you need to think about, and you need to go ahead and make your decisions before it's time to make the decisions. Because if those decisions are made, you can know that you are approaching them with a clear head. You're not emotional, you're rational, you're objective. You can make those decisions and then stick to what your decisions are. If you're not, if you're waiting to the last minute, you're making those decisions in a place where you're thrown off balance by what's happening to you emotionally, and that screws with your brain chemistry. It creates a situation in which you're going to make a decision that's not based in fact. And so I've said this about 1,000 different ways to get back to the same thing that Jesus said. You need to make your decision before you get time to make your decision. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I hope you're having a good day. I hope this helps you out. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.